देखो हम अभिनेता नहीं बन सके तो हम नेता बन गए.
We are sitting in Bombay right now. Bombay is going to have BMC elections now.
बिल्कुल. I became the youngest national spokesperson for the
Yes.
party and it's been a roller coaster ride ever since.
Oh, you were nice to
I was reading Ruskin Bond.
Correct.
We were reading Emily Dickinson. We were reading Indian poets like Toru Dutt. So a political party would be silly to not get more LGBTQ plus people on board because they're bringing more energy, more enthusiasm and more competence because of the struggles they faced. Right? I didn't choose him because he's gay. I chose him because he's competent and qualified.
जॉन एलिया को जब आप सुनते हैं, जब वो बोल रहे हैं अपनी महफिलों में, वो इतनी सरल भाषा होती है. अगर आप उनकी किताबें पढ़ते हैं, इतनी डिफिकल्ट है.
अगर आप नुसरत फतेह अली खान जी की कॉम्पोजिशन पढ़ोगे तो उसमें एक अलग मजा है, पर जब आप उसे सुनोगे, जब उसके साथ एक ठुमरी होगी, जब उसके साथ एक धुन होगी, उसमें एक अलग मजा है. You know, Supriya Tai decided very long time ago that she's going to have more women on her team. She's surrounded by women on her team in key decision-making positions. Because women take more risks than men do. And they can take those high-risk, high-reward decisions that allow them to succeed.
Hello, lovely viewers. This is Molshree. We are back again at the same spot, Mumbai Literature Festival. And guess who have I spotted?
Oof.
Anish Gawande. Yes. People, when we think of politicians, when we think of Neta, irrespective of their gender, what is that image that comes to our mind? Definitely not what you might have after meeting and talking to Anish. And that is what our entire conversation is going to be about. So first of all, welcome to our show, Local Talks.
Thank you very much.
Namaste. Yes.
Very lovely to be here.
Thank you. Thank you. So Anish, again, quickly, let's discuss when it comes to literature and when it comes to politics, both the things you've been part of.
Yes.
Right. How are you navigating both?
देखो हम अभिनेता नहीं बन सके तो हम नेता बन गए.
Oh, right.
So I was always a theatre kid growing up.
Okay.
तो पढ़ते बहुत थे. I used to read a lot of poetry. I used to read a lot of theatre. I used to perform
what sort of
theatre.
poetry?
So I loved Aga Shahid Ali. One of my favorite poets. A Kashmiri poet, a country without a post office. One of my favorite sort of poems. Translated the ghazal from Urdu into English as a form rather than just in content.
Yeah.
And I used to love my poetry textbook, you know, for ICSE. I was reading Ruskin Bond.
Correct.
We were reading Emily Dickinson. We were reading Indian poets like Toru Dutt. So, you know, it was amazing. So I love poetry. I had a lot of theatre. We had Shakespeare in our curriculum, in our syllabus. So we did Merchant of Venice and then As You Like It.
Yeah.
And then theatre wale bante I realized ki I'm not going to be good enough to become a B-list Bollywood actor. So I might as well play my role on stage in another way and became a 9 p.m. TV personality instead.
Right. So from there, because it's quite a journey and you're very young, tell me, again, coming back to this diverse entire profile that you have. And now let's quickly, because before we run out of time, we are sitting in Bombay right now. Bombay is going to have BMC elections now.
Bilkul.
Let's talk about that. When it comes to elections, when it comes to politics in general.
See, I'll tell you one very simple thing, right?
Yeah.
I grew up in Mumbai feeling frustrated.
Okay, about what?
You were always stuck in traffic.
Yeah.
You were faced with increasing cost of living. You were faced with no way of meeting your friends through public transport. And you had a big crisis in terms of things like air pollution that were already increasing.
Correct.
And at one point I said that somebody has to do something about it. And then I realized that when you point one finger at somebody, 3 fingers are pointing back at you.
Yep.
And so those 3 fingers pointing back at me said that you must do something about yourself.
What did you do?
I volunteered with Milind Devra, who was the Mumbai South MP, as a door-to-door volunteer in the 2014 Lok Sabha elections.
That is how your interest also grew in politics?
That's how my interest grew. I don't have a family in politics. I don't come from a political family.
Correct.
My father is a tax consultant and he was very confused when I joined politics and he's still confused when I've been in politics. Ye kya kar rahe ho? What is this profession? पर दरवाजे खटखटाते हुए I learned कि there is a possibility and a potential for young people to make a difference. And that election, we had all the doors slammed in our face. Congress party ko support karna in 2014 when Modi ji was coming to power was difficult. But to stick by your convictions and to continue fighting for what you believe in, even when you keep losing, teaches you something.
Right.
2019 में वापस हम चुनाव के लिए वापस आ गए थे. I helped Milind on his 2019 election campaign. We lost again. फिर कहा हमने कि हम अभी सुशिक्षित बेरोजगार हैं. That I am now educated but unemployed in this country. I applied for the Rhodes Scholarship. I went to the UK for 2 years. I went to Oxford.
खिचड़ी हो चुकी थी पूरी तरह से.
तब तक यहाँ पे खिचड़ी हो चुकी थी. हमारी सरकार आ भी गई, गिर भी गई. हम वापस आने तक हमारे पास सत्ता नहीं थी. But you know, these things move the way they do in politics. But that interest continued. I was very grateful to then find mentors like Supriya Sule, who is now my party leader, who appointed me as national spokesperson for this party. I became the youngest national spokesperson for a party, and it's been a roller coaster ride ever since.
Yes, exactly. Let's talk about that right then. In that case, have you met Sharad Pawar ji?
Of course, multiple times over. Pawar Sahib is honestly, you know, when someone enters a room and you can feel the energy of a room change. That's what happens when Pawar Sahib enters a room. And remind you, he's an 85-year young man because he can talk to you about AI and in the next breath talk to you about farmers' crisis and the price of onions and nashik. And I think the breadth of interest that he has and the ability to converse with anybody and remember everything that they've said is amazing. In all of the conversations I've had with him, he has listened more than he's spoken. And that's a rare quality. And I think I've learned so much just by watching him, you know, observing him and seeing how he is. He'll sit on stage for 4 hours while other people are speaking and then give a 5-minute speech at the end.
Right.
But he will not say कि मैं मेरे 5 मिनट के भाषण के लिए आऊँगा, बाकी किसी का सुनना जरूरी नहीं है.
Right.
He will sit and listen to everybody.
Right. Anish, tell me one thing. You're the openly gay national spokesperson for a party. And that too for a party, NCP, Sharad Pawar, obviously, which has its own roots in a lot of traditional ethos and values. Yes. How does it feel and what exactly is the structure with respect to you? Is there any sort of discrimination bias that you might, now you're working for the party so you might not say that, but tell me about other party workers and anyone.
I'll tell you, so the NCP SP is built upon 4 pillars. Shiv Shahu Phule Ambedkar, Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, Shahu Maharaj, Mahatma Jyotiba Phule and Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar. Now this is the progressive legacy we've carried forward. And across centuries, it's a progressive legacy that Maharashtra stood for inclusion of everybody, from women to caste minorities, to Adivasis, to any religious minority as well, right? And so it's an idea that every single person is equal. It's a very different idea from an idea of inclusion that's rooted in a very Western framework, for example, to be perfectly honest. We believe that it is a fight for respect and for dignity, and that you deserve respect and dignity regardless of your gender, caste, sexual orientation, ethnicity, any of these things. So when Supriya was asked a question, she was asked a question in a podcast. I started laughing after that by a dear friend of mine who was taking her interview. He, oh my God, you're so progressive. You chose Anish as the first openly gay national spokesperson. She's like, hey, I didn't choose him because he's gay. I chose him because he's competent and qualified. And that's the perspective in this party. If you can do your job well, then it doesn't matter whether you're gay, whether you're straight, whether you're trans, whether you're cis, whether you're coming from a marginalized background, not coming from a marginalized background. And there, I'm very grateful that, listen, leadership begins at the top. There have been instances where people have tried to be discriminatory, who passed some comments behind my back.
Party people or?
Party people also. My simple question or my response to them is, go speak to your boss.
Yeah.
And when your boss is saying that they're inclusive, when Pawar Sahib and Supriya are inclusive, किसी की हिम्मत ही कैसे होगी to discriminate against me?
Yeah, see that makes us feel that the growth is so vertical. It works vertically sometimes.
And political parties are like that, right? So they're hierarchical, which is sometimes a bad thing. But that also means that when somebody decides at the top that we are going to be inclusive, change happens. You know, Supriya decided very long time ago that she's going to have more women on her team. She's surrounded by women on her team in key decision-making positions. Our Mumbai party president, the NCP-SP Mumbai president is Rakhi Zadav, who's a woman. She's the first woman president for a political party in Mumbai.
But I think I would like to argue here that you said that okay, obviously you were hired because you were competent. This is what Supriya Sule, you know, Supriya Sule said, right? Now the thing is, that is obviously it came into being because of that reason. But how important it is to also mandatorily keep hiring people. We were just talking to Parmesh also about this, right? About workplaces and hiring. Because if you wait for people to come, they might not come. But if you necessarily hire them, then that might bring the change.
Absolutely. So the party started an LGBT cell in 2020, long before I joined. So Priya Patil, an incredible trans woman, has been heading that cell since then, and she's done amazing work, right? And the reality is, in politics, you need risk takers. And you need people with grit, determination, and courage. If somebody has had the courage to come out if somebody's gone through that journey and been able to face all these challenges, that's a bloody damn good political candidate.
Right.
So a political party would be silly to not get more LGBTQ plus people on board because they're bringing more energy, more enthusiasm and more competence because of the struggles they've faced, right? And so in some ways, I think those things are tied to each other. I think political parties are not bringing LGBTQ plus people on board because of inclusion or diversity. Listen, I don't care about inclusion or diversity from a charity perspective because I genuinely don't think that in politics there's any space for charity. If you want to do charity, start an NGO. राजनीति में उतरना है तो कोई charity नहीं कर रहा. Then you have to see that 1 second, this person can connect with more people. This person can mobilize at a greater strength and a greater level. Because I'm queer, I can now speak to people across party lines who are also queer. I can speak to people internationally. Rob Jetten, who just became
Netherlands,
who will
PM,
hopefully, fingers crossed, become Prime Minister of the Netherlands, someone I met not too long ago and who I am very proud to call a friend. Someone like Leo Varadkar, who used to be the Prime Minister of Ireland, is someone I know because of queer networks, because we're part of sort of communities that allow me to bring value to the party as much as it allows me to gain value from the party.
Yeah.
So it has to be a two-way street. And there I think inclusion, political parties realize, is beneficial. That's why women leaders. I'm very proud to say that I work for a woman and I would never give it up for anything else. Because women take more risks than men do. And they can take those high risk, high reward decisions that allow them to succeed.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now coming back to your interest in literature from where we started. Yes. So when we think of your work, translation, you have also worked for translations, Hindi and Marathi, if I'm not wrong, right? So in these translations, I was recently reading, rather I finished now, Heart Lamp, Panu Mushtaq's, right? So in that translations note of Deepa's, it was written that there were certain words that were in Dakhni, jo Banu Mushtaq ji bola karti hai, and we try to keep those words like that. जो उस तरीके से बोला गया है, उसको उसी तरीके से हमने translation में भी रखा है. For example, shining, shining. They would be saying कि हाँ, you know, I'm shining, shining. So we are going to keep it like this, even in translations. You have worked for translations as well, right? Tell me how important it is for regional languages like Marathi, any other language, to also be alive in these translations.
Very important. So I translated the poetry of Ramchandra Siras, who used to be professor at Aligarh Muslim University, on whom the Hansal Mehta film Aligarh is based.
Right.
And to me, it was very important to translate his work because we knew his life story, but not his work. You know, he wanted to be remembered as a poet. उसकी आपने राम कथा बता दी, पर आपने रामायण ही नहीं छपा दी. So what is the problem in translating and giving people access to incredible literature across languages?
Yeah.
And it's true. I mean, some words are very difficult to translate. So, you know, his poem that I translated was part of a collection of poetry called Paya Khali Hirwar.
Okay.
Now, Hirwar is a very strange Marathi word to translate because it
what does it mean, sorry?
Essentially translated as grass under my feet.
Okay.
But it's not lambi ghas. It's that soft little, like that soft little grass that comes right after the rain, that's almost like a carpet on a field.
Okay.
Right? Now, how do you translate that and how do you bring that to life for somebody who's perhaps never set foot in the sort of alluvial soil of Maharashtra before, who knows that kind of feeling? How do you sort of bring that word alive? And thankfully, I didn't have to translate the whole book. So
But did you keep that word exactly as it is?
But because I didn't have to translate the whole book, it was a decision I didn't have to make. The whole book is a project I've taken on now, and it's a question I still struggle with. And there's no right answer, but that's the fun of it. There's no right answer or wrong answer. There's fun. And translation is a process where, you know, it can be done again and again and again. It's like, for example, if your grandmother taught you a recipe, each time you make that recipe is going to taste different. And it's going to have an alag masti.
Correct.
So every time something is translated, it'll have an alag masti. And things will be continuously translated and we'll keep reading. And as long as you have a reader, you will have a translator. And as long as you have a translator, there will be enough good poetry and enough good literature for the world to stay entertained in an age of reels.
Yes, yes. Very important.
Very important.
Right. So with translation, I think I can also think of one more thing. Writing and reciting as well. Now, both the things are, it might be same for a few poets, it might be different for other poets. For example, if you जॉन एलिया को जब आप सुनते हैं, जब वो बोल रहे हैं अपनी महफिलों में, वो इतनी सरल भाषा होती है, वो इतना ज़्यादा सिंपल निकलता है कि वो मैसेज को पहुंच जाए, वो सभी को समझ में आ जाए. लेकिन अगर आप उनकी किताबें पढ़ते हैं, इतनी डिफिकल्ट है, वो जो वर्ड्स उन्होंने यूज़ किए हैं, चाहे उर्दू हो, अरबिक हो, पर्शियन हो, इतना डिफिकल्ट है. इट्स वेरी डिफरेंट, राइट? What is your take on that? Because you keep on writing. So how do you see that?
So I'll tell you this, I had a professor called Gayatri Spivak.
Okay.
And she's famously known for her essay, Can the Subaltern Speak? जो किसी को आज तक समझ नहीं आया है. Because it is so complex. हाँ.
Yeah.
पर वो जब क्लास में बोलती थी, she was so eloquent and so easy to understand that it was almost as if the person writing that essay was very different from the person speaking in front of you.
True.
So I think these are two very different facets of being. I think people write very differently, people narrate very differently.
How do you see this?
I think for me, I enjoy it because I think कभी-कभी ना आपको कविताओं के साथ तो ये हमेशा सच ही होता है कि आपको कविता सुननी है. आप कविता सिर्फ पढ़ नहीं सकते. तो कविताओं के लिए महफिल लगती है. You need to have poetry collectives that come up. You need to have people reciting poetry, reading it out loud. There's a different energy, a different fun to reading that out loud.
And that should be simple, is what you're saying?
No, it can be a complex poetry also, but when you hear it, it might become simple. Because आप अगर कोई गाना पढ़ो, अगर आप नुसरत फतेह अली खान जी की एक कॉम्पोजिशन पढ़ोगे, तो उसमें एक अलग मजा है. पर जब आप उसे सुनोगे, जब उसके साथ एक ठुमरी होगी, जब उसके साथ एक धुन होगी, उसमें एक अलग मजा है. So you can understand the song also very differently. You know A.R. Rahman के compositions you have to listen to. माँ तुझे सलाम you have to listen to and you can then feel it. So for example, माँ तुझे सलाम is his rendition of Vande Mataram.
Yeah.
How many of us understood what Vande Mataram meant when you were reading it as children? But when you listen to माँ तुझे सलाम, you almost don't need to understand Vande Mataram. It becomes simple. वो संस्कृत है.
Right. Right.
It's got a lot of Sanskritized words in Vande Mataram.
So again, the reason why it is simple, and that is how it can also reach masses.
Correct. And it is an emotion, right? Like then it becomes a complex being.
Yeah.
It becomes something that has rhyme, rhythm, cadence. It has emphases on different aspects. It has a lyrical attribute to it. So it becomes a different beast entirely than just the written word.
Right. And you have to understand the complexity of written words, maybe or said words, then probably you need these kind of fests.
Correct.
You come and you come with that mindset.
आज तो से कि हमने एक पैनल कर दिया और हमने कहा जय हिंद जय महाराष्ट्र, अभी हमें सुनने दो.
जी.
Because that's the fun.
Yeah.
Which also Pawar Sahib has taught me. Which is कि आप बैठो और सुनो.
Because that is how you learn. That's how you speak.
That's how you learn. Yeah. And that's the most exciting part, to just be able to sit and listen to poetry being recited and to sit and listen to all of these incredible speakers speaking, Literature Live, the Mumbai Literature Festival is like such an amazing festival.
The organizers would be very happy.
The organizers are very happy. See, I've taken the full name of the festival.
Yes.
But it's such an amazing festival. 16 years in Mumbai, like to be able to bring all of this alive for free and to say कि सबको literature पे हक है. Is something magical.
Now and that's ironical that Mumbai does not have that audience, क्योंकि नीचे बहुत ज़्यादा भीड़ नहीं है जितनी होनी चाहिए, जो जितनी शायद मुझे दिल्ली में दिखती है.
वो भर जाएगी. आप देखो आजकल अभी आप देखो प्रॉब्लम हो गई है कि हमारी मेट्रो तो उन्होंने बांध दी है, पर कभी-कभी बंद हो जाती है. 8 बजे लाइन खत्म हो जाती है, वहाँ पे नेटवर्क नहीं आता तो लोगों को छोड़नी पड़ती है. तो हमारी आशा आकांक्षा अपेक्षा है हमारे सरकार से कि आप एनसीपीए तक एक स्पेशल बस भी शुरू करें मुंबई लिटरेचर लाइव के लिए. आप बीएसटी को रिवाइव करें ताकि लोग लिटरेचर को मतलब एंजॉय कर सके. द प्रॉब्लम इज इट्स नॉट दैट भीड़ कम है बिकॉज पीपल डोंट वांट टू कम, बट इन दिस सिटी टुडे अनफॉर्चुनेटली लोग काम खत्म करते हैं फ्राइडे को 7 बजे शाम को. घर पहुंचते हैं 9 बजे तक. 9 बजे के बाद आप आओगे कैसे? कल आप देखो भीड़ बहुत होगी सैटरडे संडे को. पर फिर भी आजकल लोग सैटरडे संडे को भी ऑफिस जाने लगे हैं. तो वी नीड टू ब्रिंग बाबा साहेब अम्बेडकर बैक, who in this very city fought for 8-hour work days and 5-day work weeks.
Right. We have it, so I'm happy.
Very good. We love the samosa universe. We love samosa for giving 5.
Again, repeat पे चलाया जाए.
हाँ, ये repeat पे चला दो कि.
So I think इससे ज़्यादा अगर हमने बातें की, opposition voice बहुत ज़्यादा सोर्स से आएगा अनीश जी की तरफ से. So we are wrapping it now. You tell us
नहीं तो इनका चैनल बंद हो जाएगा, तो हम ऐसे अभी.
नहीं, चैनल तो खुश हो जाएगा ना. समोसे की तारीफ हो रही है ना, back to back.
समोसे की तारीफ हो रही है.
But opposition voice आ जाएगा. फिर प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगी publications के लिए. Okay, so we're wrapping it now. You all tell us in the comment section how did you like it and who you are going to see as a guest in the next Local Talks episode. Till the time, this is Molshree signing off.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Anish.